on Mountain News this morning, a report card rating Kentucky hospitals on their safety methods is released to the public, and Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman partners with students to give an update on the state's initiative to bring better mental health services to schools.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, 6:30 on your Wednesday. I'm Dakota Makris. Now, I have some sad news, maybe for you all, but this is my last morning on the morning news for probably a good while. So just letting y'all know that I won't be back. So putting that out there. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at that forecast, Brandon. And I know you are just devastated.
I can't.
You've been crying during the commercial breaks.
It's just tears the whole time.
And you know, I really had to hold back my own tears. Do I get another emotional goodbye?
No.
Whatever.
Not this time. Cut him off if he starts. Anyway, let's get into the forecast this morning. We're looking at the visibility numbers. Now, by looking at this, you'd think, why is he talking about fog? We don't see any lower visibility numbers there. Of course it's not going to work. Of course it's not going to work. Well, if it ever pops in outside the WYMT studios, we are fogged in this morning. I'm going to give it just another second. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bounce over here. We'll talk about this for a second. We'll try to bounce back. So temperatures out there in the 50s and 60s. It always does that. When I need it to work, it always doesn't want to work. 50 Clintwood's the cool spot this morning. 64 in Somerset and Monticello, the warm spots. Now let's go back and see if it's going to work. Let's give it a shot. Maybe not. All right. Of course it didn't. There it is. There it is. There's the fog. I wasn't lying to you. It's foggy here in Hazard. All right. So be careful out there this morning. Give yourself plenty of time. Some mild weather, but that's not going to last. We'll talk more about the extended forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Dakota.
All right, Brennan. Thank you. A new report graded Central Kentucky hospitals on safety. 5 received C's, while only 2 received A's. Samantha Valentino breaks down the report.
Baptist Health Lexington and Clark Regional Medical Center were the only 2 of 7 Central Kentucky hospitals to receive A ratings.
We're extremely proud of the A, and you know, meeting the criteria to be at the level for an A is certainly no small feat.
Cliff Wilson is the market president of LifePoint Central Kentucky. Clark Regional and Georgetown Community Hospital are both part of this network. Georgetown received a C rating. The hospital received a 70 for their hand washing practices.
Hand washing is vital. I mean, it's very at the foundation of infection prevention and making sure that hand washing occurs at entry and exit upon all patient rooms or any patient encounter for that matter.
St. Joseph Hospital and St. Joseph East both received C ratings. They also received 70s for hand washing. The average score for all hospitals is 71.64. Chief Medical Officer of CHI St. Joseph Health, Dan Gelson, told WKYT in part, quote, "There is always room for improvement, and our dedicated providers and caregivers continue to focus on quality and safety for the patients we serve." Baptist Health Lexington received a 15 out of 100 for hand washing, the lowest score of any hospital. We asked Baptist Health about this score. They said in part, quote, "We require that all staff wash their hands before and after each patient encounter. We formally monitor compliance to this in all of our patient care areas to ensure that we control infection risk in our hospital environment." UK's Good Samaritan and Chandler hospitals received C ratings. A spokesperson for UK Healthcare told us in part, quote, "There is always room to improve, and we will continue to invest in efforts that improve the health and safety of our patients." In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Well, to read the reports for these Central Kentucky hospitals, you can head over to this story on WYMT.com. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman met with students in Frankfort to give an update on the Kentucky Student Mental Health Initiative. The program is hoping to make it easier for students to receive access to these resources while in school. Governor Andy Beshear recently announced a $40 million grant for the initiative. Coleman says the money will be used to recruit and train mental health counselors who go on to serve in school districts within their region. The mental health awareness flag also flew outside the state capitol. It was a busy Memorial Day for crews in Wolfe County after a call for help for an injured hiker. Monday afternoon, Wolfe County Search and Rescue received a 911 call from a woman on Rock Bridge Trail. She told them she had a leg injury and would not be able to leave the area on her own. Team members quickly responded and were able to assess and treat the woman who was not identified. They were able to use a rope system and rescue bucket to get her back to the trailhead, where EMS crews were able to check her out further. Some of the woman's friends took her to a nearby hospital for treatment. Her current condition is unknown. Well, as we get closer to summer, it's time to be on the lookout for ticks. Every time you venture outside, doctors across the Commonwealth say Memorial Day weekend brought with it a much higher chance of carrying a tick with you back inside. The number of tick disease cases jumped 25% from 2011 to 2019. That's from the most recent data from the Centers for Disease Control. Molly O'Rourke is a pediatrician at Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky. She says she's seen numerous kids with tick bites this year. She says prevention is key to keep the pests from causing problems.
One of the best things is using a spray that will help the ticks not stick. Light colored clothing, making sure that you're covered if you're in on a hike somewhere where the ticks would be more common. And then to check your kids afterwards to look for the ticks.
O'Rourke says if you are using protectant spray while you're outside, make sure it has a chemical called DEET in it. She says it helps keep ticks away. A groundbreaking was held in Knox County last evening for a new project county leaders say will serve people across the region. More than 200 people gathered in support for the new Knox County Sportsplex complex in Barberville. Knox County Property Valuation Administrator Bob Blevins says this project was needed for the community and offers a potential boost in tourism.
We need it for local leagues, we need it for the practice facilities, we need it for travel ball. I mean, that's a huge tourism driver now, and we're sitting in a good spot for it, kind of middle between Knoxville and Lexington. I think it's a great spot. In Kentucky, I guess just in rural areas in general, don't have a huge tourism draw to keep you overnight. Well, if I'm playing tonight and I got to play tomorrow, I know I'm going to stay here overnight or locally, somewhere close by anyway.
Knox County Judge Executive Mike Mitchell says the complex will have 4 fields for baseball and softball and a walking trail. A business in Pike County is celebrating 40 years of dedicated service to its customers. Lighthouse Christian Bookstore opened its doors in 1983 when Jim Ratliff and his wife decided to bring more options for Christian items to the mountains. Thanks to customer support, the store has expanded far from just Bibles, offering gifts, jewelry, music, clothing, and more. Ratliff says he believes there's little something for everyone.
It goes on forever. We really are a department store for Christians. If it's Christian, with all humility, we probably got it.
The business is located next to the Mountain Music Exchange, and Ratliff says it is one of the last of its kind in the region. Well, some of you might be heading to Lexington this weekend for a fun time. The city is hosting high school softball, baseball, and track and field state tournaments, as well as the NCAA baseball tournament. And the Railbird Music Festival is this weekend. Kelsey Soto talked with Visit Lex about the impact of all these events.
More than 40,000 tickets per day were sold to the popular Railbird Music Festival. Those tickets were gobbled up within 3 hours when they went on sale at the end of last year. Now, music lovers will head to Lexington to hear their favorite songs and musicians.
We've been really excited to have an opportunity to share Lexington and everything that we offer with that crowd. And then on top of it, you've got things like the NCAA tournament coming to town. So again, it's just a fabulous opportunity for people to come to town and eat and shop and enjoy Lexington.
Hotels are filling up and restaurant reservation lists are growing longer. Many Central Kentuckians are excited to host these visitors, tourists, and locals alike, and they say it's a great time to try something new.
I say to go out and check out all the local bars and all the small dives around here because there's plenty in Lexington, and those are the best places that you're going to find.
While it may be a busy weekend with heavier traffic and slimmer parking options, it is a post-pandemic reality many are looking forward to enjoying in the summer sunshine.
I feel like Lexington's pretty open and friendly, and there's so much to do here. People don't realize there's always something going on.
It's Southern hospitality, bluegrass style, that will show everyone how it's done here in the Commonwealth.
I think because we're not just one thing, we're something, we've got a little bit of something for everyone. And I think that's what's really exciting. Even when inviting these 2 different crowds to Lexington, there's really something for everybody to enjoy.
In Lexington, Kelsey Soto, WKYT.
A lack of available hotel rooms has college baseball players and teams staying at UK dorm rooms. Fans are getting creative and exploring lodging options outside of the city in neighboring towns and communities like Richmond, Georgetown, and Mount Sterling.
All right, as we head toward about 6:40 here, we'll see again the possibility for a little bit of sunshine over at the Mountain Parkway along the Wolf-Powell County line near Slade this morning. That's heading back toward Mount Sterling. You might have heard me say the Sterling there just a minute ago on the air there when we were talking about trying to find those hotel rooms there in Central Kentucky. I'm sure Lexington's packed this weekend, but you see not much traffic on the Mountain Parkway as you head through the next little bit. Temperatures out there, 50 in Clintwood, cold spot this morning in Southwest Virginia, 64 Somerset and Monticello, 54 here in Hazard, 59 in Prestonsburg, 62 Pikeville, and 63 in Moorhead. Out the door forecast features temperatures that are going to soar into the low 80s this afternoon. A warm day, but not a hot day just yet. And we could see a stray chance for a passing shower here in the next few hours. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you so much. It's 6:40. Still to come here on Mountain News this morning. A member of the infamous Manson family could be a step closer to getting out of prison. We'll have the details when we come back.